My name is Richard Eugene Boyd, registered sex offender, Spokane County, Washington. Are you in this picture? I'm talking to you. This is CHAMARAE'S Jenna Maffei. Okay? She is a victim of child molestation by me and a victim of child pornography by me, according to the state of Washington. See this? That's CHAMARAE, that's Kara, and that's Alex. CHAMARAE's 9, Kara's 11, and Alex is 10 in this photograph. And I molested all three of them and made child pornographic movies with them, according to the state of Washington. And they were subsequently removed, and their parental rights they were put into foster care. She went to go live with her grandmother, everything, right? Yeah. So they took them into CPS, Child Protective Services, custody, protective, all right? To protect them because their mothers didn't protect them from me molesting them and putting them into child pornographic movies. Got it? Here I am. Here I am. It's the state of Washington is correct, and I'm a motherfucking idiot, or I'm correct and the state of Washington is wrong. Or there's a meet in the middle somewhere. Yeah, let me tell you about this. If I put these girls, if I molested them one, which none of them report, I put them in child pornographic movies, of which none of these three girls report. There is no report whatsoever, except for one word. Her name's Sally Duffy. Grandma. Okay? Grandma saw CHAMARAE up. She said, hey, film me. Okay, I'll just put the camera up. What do you want to do? And then she gets on and she makes this film about her father. And she's talking about my dad. Well, Grandma's seen that. And her granddaughter is talking about her son. And Grandma doesn't want her talking about her son. So Grandma decides she just go ahead. She's got political pull. So she goes in there and tells Nadine Roper, yeah, I saw my granddaughter in child exploitation. Well, and that means child pornography, but does it? Child exploitation is you're exploiting somebody, not necessarily pornography, although that may be a subcategory. But no, the state of Washington doesn't have that. It doesn't say child pornography. It says child exploitation. Well, you go have your kid go mow lawns and clean houses and shit, and you don't pay them, you're exploiting them. That's not what child exploitation means in Washington. So it has to do with terminology. Terminology. You see, Grandma didn't mean child pornography. she meant child exploitation. Nadine Roper took child exploitation and turned it into child pornography. It has to do with the way they wrote the law and what people think the law is and what the law is. So there's a miscommunication there. And due to that miscommunication, boom, all these kids are taken away. And I'm a child molester and a child pornographer. Me. Well, you know what? That pissed me off. Yeah. That pissed me off. Anyway, I'm a registered sex offender. This comes from San Mateo City Police Department, San Mateo County, and my record is there. As a matter of fact, there's a very interesting piece of evidence, there or not there, and it's a videotape. A videotape, yeah. Now, for some reason, my parents got my entire file except the videotape. Then we called down for the videotape, and, well, my attorney lost the videotape. The videotape's been lost. Evidently, now it's been destroyed. Maybe they still have it. Maybe it's an archival record. I don't know. I can't get it. So, in that videotape, I made statements. Not confession, statements. Okay? Has to do with 13-year-old runaway, Connie Lynn Turnman. Okay? Back in 1990. Anyway, in my statement, I said, we fucked. She fucked. Her. We. Me, us, ambiguous, ambiguous, fuck. Anyway, non-specific. She, we, us, her, you know. Never said her name. I didn't say her name. I left it. Throughout the entire video, I never said her name. When the video was done, my confession video, oh shit, was my statement video. And it was true. Absolutely 100% true. But we must ask ourselves something. When I joined the Navy here in Spokane, they put me in an airplane. An airplane landed in San Francisco International Airport. We flew over water, okay? Not over mountains. So I'm supposed to fuck Connie in San Francisco, and it was really cool because as we were fucking, the airplanes flew over and lit up the underbrush. If you go over here to the cliffs, okay, overlooking Spokane on the west side, and then the airport is west of Spokane, and there's a height elevation of quite a 1,000 feet or so. Airplanes fly over the cliffs, and they light up the underbrush. So the location which I was talking about is right over here. On the cliffs, in the brush. Oh, it's fucking Tina. Anyway. Next. Oh yeah, and it was really cool because we was down by the sewage treatment plant by the river. There ain't no rivers in the peninsula. All right? The San Francisco Peninsula cities. There's no rivers. Might be a creek, but there ain't no rivers. And there's no sewage plant on it either. By the river. Because there's no river. And these two American bald eagles flew by. How many bald eagles are in San Francisco Bay Area? You know, they kind of like need food. There's not a lot of food in an urban built-up area. Anyway, it was ripe with this and that and that. We did this, she did that, which is only Tina knows. Connie has no freaking clue what I'm talking about. If you're going to make a confession, okay, tell the truth. I was talking about fucking Tina in Washington throughout the entire freaking statement. Why? Because they took my truck. They took my tools. I ain't getting them back. And if I get out, they're going to kick Connie out on the street and me out on the street too. Now what? Well, the only thing we have left to do is go pimp her ass out on fucking El Camino Rio. So anyway, I made statements that I allowed them to assume. Now, I get to report back. He is Connie, she is, or he is he, but she, her, are not she's and hers, but they're Connie's and Connie's now. That's not what I said. Pamela Strum said she found a RAV4 and it's blue. Okay? But she never said it was Teresa's. And then Wigger goes in there and says, well, she described a vehicle that matches Teresa's, which is not true. Point being is this. I get to court, because they're going to give me 90 days. I got 90 days lockup. I got hot cot. I got meals, you know, shitter. I get to take showers. It's better than being freaking homeless out on the street. Okay? 13-year-old female homeless out on the street, no. She's going to end up working the fucking streets, become a prostitute. So my only other option was to send her ass back home. Of which, going back home is problematic because she was being physically and sexually and psychologically abused there. See? So they took her out of my vehicle to protect her, to go stick her back up in the place that she ran away from in the beginning. So what's going to happen? She runs away again, all right? Well, no, because then they have the Spokane City Police driving by, making sure that she stays there, and to give them a call right away, and they'll go track her ass down and stick her back in the house. Because she has to go now testify against me. So she stayed in that environment for 90 more days, the one that she was trying to escape, which during that time, who the fuck knows what was going on? Got a goddamn good idea, though. So that's a total defeating of the purpose anyway. Sergeant Rappioli asked me, you are talking about Connie, right? I just looked at him. So he knew that I was, he didn't know that I was telling the truth, but he suspected that I was telling something about an event, and it wasn't Connie, because there's no bald eagles in the peninsula cities, in San Francisco. Okay? Kind of gave it away, but he didn't give a fuck. Why? Because, click, the clock struck midnight, and they just enacted the law, the sex offender law in California, effective on January the 1st, 1991. And he wanted to be the first to get a collar. So I'm a registered sex offender because of his political ambitions. That's right. That's right. Yep. So legally, I'm really not a sex offender. Why? Because fraud perpetuated upon the court makes court orders all non and void and no legal effect as if never issued. Why is that? Because officer pulled me over. I turned the vehicle off, put the transmission in park. Once that transmission hit park, Connie's not required to wear a seatbelt. I turned the engine off. I took the key out, all right? I put it on my middle finger and I stuck it out like this, you know, for him to come get. He says, put your keys on the dash. I put the keys on the dash. When the officer gets to my window, he wants Connie. And he's going to get Connie one way or the other. So they get her for a seatbelt violation. Well, I got a seatbelt violation, but here's the deal. They pull you over, you take your seatbelt off. When you're stopped, transmission's in park, the engine's off, the key's out of the ignition. It's not a moving violation. Not wearing a seatbelt is a moving violation. So he gave me a seatbelt ticket. I said, but you know what? When the officer came to my window and observed I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, the engine was parked, or the transmission was parked in park. All right? The key turned the engine off and was out of the ignition. And I told that to the judge here in Spokane. Okay? Here in Spokane. And guess what? That was Judge Walker here in Spokane. Patty Walker. Patricia Walker, whatever. Patty Walker in Spokane. And she says, you're right, Mr. Boyd. So, if I'm right in Judge Walker's court here in Spokane on a seatbelt violation, and it's not a violation when you're parked, you know, engine's off, you're not in control of the vehicle. But yet down there, what? So they kidnapped Connie. Color law violation. And they ran it all through, and here I am. Now, getting back to this. Molest all 3 girls. They didn't say that. Nobody said that except for Grandma. Okay, which she had her reasons for doing so. And yet, they can take these kids, sever parental rights, but never come in and arrest me for a crime. I put all 3 of these girls right here in child pornography, according to the state, but yet I was never arrested in association with that crime. And they never said I put them in child pornography. But yet, their parental rights were taken and they were put in child protective services. How can this be? See, they got both sides of it. They can charge you in civil court and be found guilty, but won't charge you in criminal court for a crime. And take your kids. Take your kids. So, what does it have to do with you people? I'm a member of the YouTube Making a Murder Warrior Class Society. Social warrior. I got a project for you guys. Me. Okay? And Child Protective Services. And how they're fucking mining our kids out and shit. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Hillary. Bill and Hillary Clinton are probably the world's record in child abduction. Abduct? Yeah. Yeah, they're child thieves. Now, we got this thing called Amber Alert. You go over and you take a kid. You take a kid out of their yard, playing in their yard. You take them, and you go someplace else with them. You kidnap that kid. Boy, Amber Alerts all over the fucking place. But if you're a CPS worker, you come in, you take that kid. Oh, okay, they're a CPS worker. Go ahead and take the kids. They got a license to kidnap kids. Your kids. And the place is jam-packed full. They've got a whole army of them just out here grabbing kids. Kids are afraid of CPS. Yeah, they're going to come get me. Well, guess what? Nadine Roper, You kidnapped the wrong motherfucking kid. All right. You kidnapped the wrong kid. You kidnapped CHAMARAE. Not long after this picture was taken, she was kidnapped, okay, by CPS. But this is CHAMARAE. There she is, right? Well, Nadine Roper, guess what? I know my military history. And here's this book, Soul Survivor. George Gay, all right? There he is. And this book is signed. He signed this book. And in this book, you're going to find Amelio, Radioman, first class, Amelio Maffei. Yeah, he was a gunner, tail gunner, okay? His job was to shoot at Japanese trying to shoot the pilot, the plane down, and he's supposed to protect. Well, he was killed. And so was the pilot. And the plane went down in the Battle of Midway. Okay? And she is the descendant or a relative of some sort of a national hero, which the president of the United States gave a Flying Service Cross. All right? He was honored by the president. And then years later, a descendant of his, or a relative of his of some sort, CHAMARAE Maffei, gets kidnapped by the same organization of which this guy died to protect. So, if you want to go spread around, I'm a registered sex offender, I'm a bad guy, then you better have your shit fucking packed tight. Now, below, Nadine Roper, Spokane County Child Protective Services Office, whatever, are the movies, the child pornography. Okay, you just click right down below, see all the child pornography you want. There they are, they're all in child porno. Thanks, Nadine. Now, they were classified as victims of child molestation, classified as victims of child pornography, of which I know of not one photo anywhere. Okay? And they were treated for it too. All these social services came in and did a whole entire thing on them, and they had to go through all these freaking hoops, talk to all these people that had in their brain that they're victims, and they're sitting there and they're not victims. Not of me anyway. Okay? See how that works? When you're dealing with the government, there's the way it's supposed to go, and there's assholes that think that they can do whatever the fuck they want. And they're covered by other assholes that think that they can do what the fuck they want. And it's this big asshole class of people that are in power, and we are helpless. Do anything about it, and they come prey on us at whip and whim, and they do. So, you guys are over there supporting a murderer. 2 of them, murderers. And yet there you are, because you're a social justice warrior. Well, where the fuck is my justice? Huh? Where's CHAMARAE'S justice? Where's Alex and Kara's justice? Where's all the hundreds of thousands of children taken in by CPS due to President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton? Yeah. 50,000. They got $150,000. Well, anyway, it has to do with adoptions. Well, anyway, they got some type of bonus All right? But there's $50,000 in each one of these kids' heads. There's $50,000 or more now. That was back when. More now. The government has wanted poster with your child's face on it, so CPS can bring in the bucks. That's right. It's called human trafficking.